Parting Krakow, we pass this castle, residence of the kings of Poland till 1699, when the capital was moved to Warsaw. Today it's one of the country's premier art museums and the 20th most visited art museum in the world. Sister Faustina was a young nun in a convent in Poland in the 1930s. She claimed to receiving revelations or messages from Jesus. He asked her to record these messages, which she compiled into notebooks. These notebooks are known as the Diary of Saint Maria Faustina Kowalska. On 14 occasions, Jesus revealed to her his desires concerning the Feast of Mercy, also known as the Divine Mercy Sunday, which is the first Sunday after Easter. Built between 1999 and 2002, this is a contemporary two-story basilica specifically dedicated to the Divine Mercy. The design was meant to evoke the image of a boat, while an observation tower, 253 feet tall, resembles a mast. The Tatra Mountains is the highest mountain range in the Carpathians. It's a natural border between Poland and Slovakia.
Here in Poland, they never had massive pesticides, massive amounts of fertilizers that they would throw onto the land. It's somewhat different now, but there was in any of the communist countries, really up until quite recently, had there been, is because during communism, somehow the taxation was such that if you had a house that was only constructed of one type of material, you were taxed at a higher rate than if you had the exterior in 2 or 3 different types. So that's the reason for the beautiful, sometimes it's really beautiful masonry down below.
There's a church
The bell tower separate. You can see Jesus over the front door. Here's the bell tower. You know, this region, and actually throughout Poland, was famous for having wooden churches. They didn't build with bricks, they didn't build with stone or anything. They do have some of that now, but in the past it was wooden churches that were towards Warsaw, Krakow, and heading east into
Poland inherited farmland was divided amongst all the sons. Since each heir needed road access, the only way of providing it, without forcing anyone to trespass on other fields, was to divide the land at road access points. What may originally have been a square was cut into strips that got narrower as the land was distributed amongst successive generations.
But see, everybody's coming with their to go to the market. And here you've got fur rugs and leather coats, and see the flowers, the plastic flowers. Yes, and here's your underwear over here on the shirts on the left-hand side. Dish towels here. I can stop.
Umbrellas.
We can. And oh, here for your garden, okay? For your garden, yes. Your windmills, yes. Shoes here on the left. People come from all over to go to this place. Now there's usually beanbag chairs somewhere. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Here in Hungary, elsewhere, did they do it in Poland? No, because why? Because Stalin realized that he would have to expend so much money, so many soldiers, so much political capital to get those blasted Poles to give up their land, that he came up with a very famous saying, which if I heard it once, I heard it a million times: communism fits Poland about as well as a saddle fits a cow.
About 2 hours south of the Polish border, through forested countryside, we stopped for lunch at this nice restaurant in Slovakia. It's a wood log building with distinctive interiors, including clothing, musical instruments, and more.
It was ruled by the Ottomans, and then one section that sort of stayed Hungarian, and that was in Transylvania. So then, once the Ottomans were beaten back, they laid siege to Vienna twice, 2 times, almost took it. And if it hadn't been for the Polish king Jan Sobieski the second time, Vienna would have been conquered by the Muslims. They weren't able to hold it by themselves.
And I'll stay with you the whole trip. I'll bring you back in and show you where the direct is. Fashion Avenue.
And going to head towards the city center. This wonderful tour is going to take about 2 hours.
The Parliament building, well, the sun is shining on it. Later we'll probably get it with the lights on. I believe this modern building is called the Bean. It's a conference center, an event center. One of the largest party boats on the river. And we're turning around, headed back the other way. And we're saying that King Matthias married an Italian woman, and she brought in all the Renaissance advances that were happening in Italy during. Hungary was on the wrong side of World War I. They lost because they were part of Austro-Hungarian Empire. They lost about 500,000 Jews in World War II and 500,000 others. The Russians were here for communists for 45 years. The oldest church on the Pest side.
Because it was completely bombed down in World War II. And only I have seen documentary photos about it, only the shell of the building was left, the walls, nothing else. And it took 20 years to reconstruct it, and now it's a museum.
Chain bridge. In World War II, the bridge was blown up in 1945 by the retreating Germans, with only the towers remaining. After the war, it was rebuilt and reopened in 1949. The Parliament building. This bridge was first built in 1872 to 76. Of course, it was destroyed in World War II, quickly rebuilt and opened in 1948. Then it was reconstructed again from 2009 to 2011. I think the lights are on, but since it's not dark, they don't show as